loves, how are you? I hope that you are doing so well today. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Nina, or Sinfulpluto, and if you're returning, welcome back. Thanks for joining us, and I hope that you receive a message that you need to hear for this week. We're going to be going over what's in store for us between December 2nd through the 8th for all the signs. This is going to apply to your sun, moon, and rising, and Venus. And with that being said, let's just go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with air signs, and we'll see what we do next. All right, so air signs. What is in store for the air signs between... What's in store for the air signs between December 2nd through the 8th? Air signs between December 2nd through the 8th. Ooh, okay, we have the Strength card. So you could be dealing with a Leo, some of you. We have Strength, and we have the Hermit. So we could be dealing with Virgo energy as well, whether it's you or another person. Also, roles can be reversed, so reverse them however way you need to so that they fit what is going on with you. We have the Seven of Pentacles reversed. And we also have the Seven of Cups reversed. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Knight of Pentacles. So there's an overall theme of consistency, or a need for consistency in having to go the long way rather than the easy way. So let's see. We have Strength and the Hermit. So Strength can talk about how some of you probably need to get back in tune with your inner strength, with your inner warrior. Or maybe even builds up the strength to be your own person, to be an individual. It could also be that you're just dealing with a Leo or a Virgo. I also just think it's really interesting how these are right next to each other in the zodiac wheel. So I wonder if that has any sort of insignificance. Maybe you guys are oscillating between strength, between being prideful, being a little bit attention seeking, or very loud and performative, and then the Hermit is kind of you guys being a little bit more behind the scenes, you being a little bit more individualistic, soul searching, wanting to be alone, that sort of thing. So I wonder if you're kind of vacillating between these two energies this week and kind of being inconsistent in that, with the Seven of Pentacles reversed. You keep on going back and forth. You're very hot and cold for whatever reason that is. Some of you could be very hot and cold, where one day or 1 minute you are, boastful and loud and performative and you're putting on a great show, and then the next minute you're just very quiet, very maybe even inquisitive, or very reflective, introspective, and that sort of thing for you, air signs. So that could be a little bit of the inconsistent energy. And I would say that to be mindful of just being of that energy, and find a balance between the two and be consistent in those energies, rather than kind of going back and forth like a pinball, like a pinball. Is that what it's called? I think that's what it's called. But anyways, yeah, like a pinball. Find the consistency in all of that. I also feel that some of you might be kind of needing to work on building consistency in terms of your self-worth and your inner strength, and believing in yourself and standing your ground, and kind of taking control of yourself and of your own life. This isn't to say that you can control everything that's going on around you, but you can control the way in which you manage yourself. So I would say that to connect a little bit more with that, and to take the time to do that, and to be, like I said earlier, be consistent in going through with building up this strength, this sort of endurance, this sort of control over yourself. So, and we have the Seven of Cups reversed as well, which is kind of your bubble is being bursted. I don't know if Some of you are going to have your bubbles bursted by someone and kind of saying, and this person is saying how you keep on vacillating between these two energies. But I also feel that maybe some people might be bursting your bubble in terms of like your pride and kind of humbling you a little bit this week and making you reflect a little bit more this week, making you be a little bit more reflective and realize how you might have been inconsistent or hot and cold with your energy, with the way that you treat people or the way in which you behave, your beliefs, your opinions, and like things along those lines, where someone is just kind of bursting your bubble in that sort of sense, or you're finally seeing the reality of a situation. You can see past the illusion. You can see past the facade. I also feel like some of you this week are no longer putting up a facade. I feel that for some of you, maybe you, like I said earlier, you have been maybe in the recent past, you have been very extravagant, very boastful, very loud, very performative. And now, that illusion is kind of going down the drain, whether you're doing it intentionally or not. And I feel that you're kind of taking on this energy of the hermit, where you're being on your own. You're no longer trying to impress other people. You're no longer trying to make other people happy or kind of get a reaction out of people or perform for other people or do certain things, say certain things that would entertain other people. I feel that you're going more so within. You're finding your own light. And I feel like you're kind of walking away from the group and finding yourself outside of this group. You're finding out who you are outside of society or outside of a community. You're finding your own individuality, your own identity. It's almost like soul searching. And I feel like you're kind of filling up any sort of gaps that might have been inconsistent throughout your life or in some sort of facade that you have been putting up. And I feel that maybe some of you have been on this journey of self-reflection, of soul searching, of finding out who you are outside of the group, finding out who you are outside of society, outside of the community. And maybe you have been inconsistent in that journey, hot and cold, or like wanting to give up on that journey. And I feel that the overall message for you here is like the Knight of Pentacles here, where this is a thing where you have to do it for the long term. This isn't like a short-term journey. I feel like this hermit mode it's a long-term sort of thing. You're not going to get instant gratification. You're not going to get instant results. This is something that is going to have to take not even a lot of time, but like it's going to have to take longer than you might want it to, because there are just certain lessons that you need to learn that you wouldn't learn if you were to do all of this within a week or within a day. This requires probably months of patience and work and time and reflection and introspection in terms of like finding your own life, your own light, listening to your own intuition, finding out who you are outside of everyone else. Like, what is your identity outside of the people around you? Who are you on the inside? That's really what it seems like to me. I just feel like the facade is just like slowly fading away, or you're being encouraged to just walk away from this facade that you were putting up. Because in the Seven of Cups, there's like a snake charmer. And when I see this card, I think of someone who's very mystical, very mysterious, very charming, very alluring. And having this card reverse is just like, the snake charmer really isn't all that. Like, it's just the trick of it. Like, it's a trick of an eye, of the eye, the trick of an eye, a trick of an eye, a trick of the eye. Yeah, no, I don't know. Also, the number 7 could be significant to you because we have 2 7s here. But I feel like that trick of the eye is you can see past that. Other people can see past that. And I feel that it's almost like it's not even worth the effort anymore to try to keep up this performance going on any longer. Like, just like let it go. And do a little bit of soul searching and discover things about yourself. You don't have to go out all the time and entertain other people. You can keep to yourself a little bit, stay home, read a helpful book, Do a little bit of journaling and meditating and maybe even some yoga, whatever it is that helps you in getting to know yourself better and that helps you reflect, do that. But that's really what I can say for you, air signs. I really hope that this resonates. Let me know if it does. I would like to hear any sort of feedback that you have. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Share with your friends, family, loved ones, and anyone else that you would like to share it with. Hit the subscribe button if you want to continue watching more videos of mine, and hit the bell notification if you want to be notified when I upload my videos. If you want to book a personal reading with me, you can do so at sinfulpluto.com. The link will be down below. Please make sure to read like all the terms and conditions and things like that, just so that you know what you're getting yourself into and like what my process is and all of that sort of stuff. And if you want to find me on social media, you can do so on Twitter and Instagram at Sinfulpluto. So with that being said, I will talk to you later, darlings. I hope that you have a wonderful week and good luck. Bye. Hey water signs, how are you? Hope you're doing so well. Let's go ahead and get started. What is in store for the water signs between December 2nd through the 8th? What's in store for the water signs? All right, that was quick. Ooh, the Nine of Cups reversed. Alrighty. Nine of Cups reversed is what fell out. We have the Two of Swords reversed, Devil reversed, Knight of Cups reversed. Bottom of the deck is the Wheel of Fortune reversed. What the is going on? Jesus Christ, dude. Okay, so what this seems to me is kind of like a part 2 to last week. And I was really scolding you guys there, but this is what it seems to me. All right, Nine of Cups reverse is the fact that we want instant gratification and we're not happy that we're not getting it. We don't want to put in the work as to what we need to do to grow from whatever situation that we're dealing with, whether as a relationship, a friendship, a job, a school-related thing, a family-related thing, whatever this is, we're not willing to put in the work because we want things to be easy. The Two of Swords reverse would be us being in denial about this, like being in denial maybe, and like avoiding any sort of responsibility that we have to take, avoiding accountability. And maybe I honestly feel like this is us playing victims. Water signs seem to be playing victims this week, and no, girl, I wouldn't recommend that. But this is us being in denial, right? And then the Devil reverse would be like us being in denial of the fact that we have to change, that we are being complacent, being in denial of the fact that we have grown really accustomed and familiar and really used to, really comfortable with whatever situation we're living through, whatever this is, however way this applies to us, or to us, because I'm a water sign too, like fruck what? This is us being in denial of that and like not accepting that sort of accountability, that responsibility, and kind of being in denial of the fact that we have to get ourselves out of the situation. Like we can't continue being here, we can't continue blaming our circumstances as to why we are the way that we are. We can't continue blaming other people for our misery or for the reason why we're sulking or whatever the case might be. The Devil reverse talks about how we need to start freeing ourselves from our own complacency and from our own addictions, from our own really bad habits, unhealthy habits, toxic traits, toxic habits, behaviors, mindsets, beliefs, opinions, whatever it is. Like we need to definitely work on pushing ourselves out of that sort of mindset, because it's honestly just like kind of childish. And we need to start growing more as people and being open to that growth rather than like being in denial, averting any sort of responsibility and averting any sort of accountability. Because a lot of the time when we're in a situation that's kind of like rocky, or when we're like when we have some sort of argument, it's not just a lot of the time it's not just a one-way street, it's a two-way street. Both people, or however many people are involved, had a part in that. It's not just a one-sided sort of thing most of the time. I'm not talking about like extreme circumstances. But this to me just talks about how we need to stop being in denial. We need to take off the blindfold And definitely stop putting in the work. We need to stop being complacent in our circumstances and kind of stop blaming the rest of the world for the reason why we're failing, or blaming the rest of the world for our misery, because it's just not fair, and it takes away the responsibility on ourselves, the accountability for ourselves to make our lives better, because we have the choice to do something about ourselves. We can't choose what other people do to us and how they react to us and what happens to us in our lives, but we can choose how we manage that, how we handle our situations, how we approach these situations. I say this all the time. And having the Knight of Cups reversed would be, I honestly get like really self-centered vibes with this. Like someone who is just like thinking only for themselves. And I feel that with the Knight of Cups reversed, it also just talks about someone who is really emotionally immature. They still have a lot of growing up to do. This to me is just someone who's like a bratty teenager, who is just like sulking and feeling bad for themselves. But like, it's almost like they brought it onto themselves. And I'm not saying that this is what you're going through is what you deserve. I'm not saying that at all. But it's almost like it gets to a certain point where you become so complacent that you just get so used to that. And like, it gets tired. It gets tired and old. The same old excuses of like why you're stuck. Because yeah, like you're stuck because you hit a bump on the road, but are you going to stay at that bump in the road for the rest of your life? No, you have to overcome that. So it just feels like there's also just like this emotional immaturity, this denial of accountability, this aversion, or like just like averting any sort of responsibility, any sort of accountability, anything that gives you like a sense of control. It's almost like you don't want the control, because when you have control, that means you have to take initiative, which some people, you know, might not want to do, because when you have to take initiative, it means that you have to take control of your own life and make your own decisions and like actively be a part of your own life. So yeah, we have the Wheel of Fortune reverse, which kind of talks about like this is not the first time that this has happened, and history is going to continue repeating itself until you do things differently. But also the Wheel of Fortune reverse talks about like feeling a lack of control. There really is an overall feeling of feeling out of control, but a lot of the time it's because we're not taking initiative, or at least in this case, it's because we're not taking initiative. We're not doing anything to push ourselves out of this mindset, to push ourselves out of these circumstances, to somehow accelerate ourselves. We're remaining complacent and kind of just accepting, oh, pity me, woe is me, I'm a victim. And like, it's okay that you're a victim, but you have to do so. You can't be that forever. You can't blame everyone around you forever. Like you can't do that forever. I mean, you literally can, but does it promote any sort of growth and improvement? Not necessarily, no. So let's see. Let's clarify this Devil reversed here. So what does this Devil reverse signify for the water signs? I got 3 cards that came out. First one, it's so funny, dude. It's so fucking funny. The 8 of Swords reverse is at the bottom of the deck. This literally is talking about how we need to free ourselves from our own mental prisons, and how we need to stop being complacent and thinking of ourselves as powerless and helpless, because we're not. Maybe people have convinced us that we are. Maybe we have been conditioned to believe that we are. Or maybe we have just gotten used to the fact that maybe giving the power to someone else is like easier, you know, or maybe people are just taking away our power and we're not taking the action to reclaim that. So whatever it is, we need to free ourselves from that sort of mental prison, from that sort of mentality, from the complacency, because it's not helping us in any sort of way. We have to push ourselves out of this pity party that we're having. Okay, so the first card here that flipped over was the Queen of Cups. So that's you, water signs, I believe. It could also be like a mother figure of yours. Holy shit. Okay. Sorry. The Queen of Cups, and we have the King of Cups reversed as well. So for some of you, this could be in relation to like a relationship that you're in. Maybe there is someone who is emotionally... Didn't I pull this card last week? I pulled this card last week for water signs. So we're still dealing with the same shit. it seems. We're still dealing with the same disinterested, indifferent King of Cups reversed. Like, I don't know what to tell you. And here you are, you know, trying to offer your cup, trying to be in denial about all of it, because maybe because you fear this rejection, right? Maybe, didn't I pull this as well? Did I pull this as well last week? What is going on? Water signs, what the fuck? Anyways, okay, so this is a relationship that you have with another person, whether it's romantic, platonic, familial, a job related, whatever this is. You're in denial of the fact that you have to release yourself from this connection with this other person. And you don't want to put in the work because you want things to just be easy. You don't want to have to go through any sort of conflict or tension. But the thing is that in order for us to grow, we need a little bit of tension. We need a little bit of friction. And you're avoiding that because you want everything to be easy peasy lemon squeezy. And life just doesn't work that way. Not all the time. I'm sorry. I understand that maybe you fear rejection or whatever the case might be, but you have to go through it. Are you just going to stay in this complacent ass relationship for the rest of your life because it's just easier? Because it seems like you're pretty miserable. I mean, this person isn't interested in you. You're not happy. This has been going on for far too long. So, you know, why am I doing this? So why? Really? Like, do I have to scold you another time? Like, do I have to, do I have to be, like, strict mom? Like, I don't get it. There's definitely a level of emotional maturity that you need to work on, that you need to start developing, because I feel like you're kind of stuck in, like, this childlike mentality with the Knight of Cups reversed. You're stuck in this childlike mentality, probably being like way too idealistic or giving this person way too much credit, and like really almost like idealizing them or like making them more relevant than they really are. And it's like, why? We also have the Six of Wands here, which tells me that this is definitely something that you need to acknowledge. This is something that you need to be facing head on. And I also feel that if you face this and if you take accountability for yourself, if you take responsibility, if you start taking initiative, and if you start pushing yourself out of the complacency, out of the comfortability, out of this instant gratification that you want, once you stop putting so much value in this relationship, once you stop placing so much of the power into this person's hands, in terms of like your happiness and stuff like that, like you are victorious. Once you overcome all of this, like you will be victorious. You will be successful in doing that, and people will be so proud of you, and you will be rewarded, and you will be recognized for the work that you put in. But as long as you remain complacent, and as long as you keep on doing the same thing over and over again, then you're gonna have the same results. So that's all that I can really tell you, water signs. I mean, get it together. That's all I can really tell you right now. Like, I understand that you want the perfect world, but you can't have a perfect world where you're not even willing to put in the work. You can't make a perfect world out of something that's just completely mediocre. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. So hope it resonates. Hope you get your shit together. I'll talk to you later, next week, soon. I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below your thoughts. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Share with your friends, family, loved ones, or any other water sign who needs to hear this. Subscribe, hit the bell notification to know when I upload. If you want to book a personal reading with me, you can do so at Sinfulpluto.com. If you want to find me on social media, you can do so on Twitter and Instagram at Sinfulpluto. And with that being said, I'm fading. Bye. Hey fire signs, how are you? Hope that you are doing so well. Let's just go ahead and get started with your reading. So what is in store for the fire signs between December 2nd through the 8th? What's in store for the fire signs? Oh my god. Jesus Christ, okay. Okay, so we have the Nine of Swords, what is this? The Three of Cups reversed. Alrighty. Interesting. We have the Queen of Swords reversed. And we have the Seven of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck is the Five of Wands reversed. Okay, let's see. So some of you could be stressing about some sort of social group that you're in with the Nine of Swords, right? The anxiety, the stress. There's some sort of... Maybe you're dealing with some sort of gossip or rumors this coming week. You know, people might be talking bad about you behind your back. You know, the person who's talking badly about you could possibly be an air sign with this Queen of Swords, specifically a Libra or an Aquarius, but any air sign. Or it could also just be someone who feels scorned by you, who feels that you have done them wrong in some sort of way. And this is almost like their form of like revenge, it kind of feels like. That's what that feels like. This person, it could also be vice versa, where you feel scorned by someone else and maybe you're spreading misinformation or spreading rumors or some gossiping about this person. But the Queen of Swords would be someone who has been scorned. I feel like maybe you have had like a close friendship with them, but it kind of just like fizzled out, or maybe something wrong happened, because this to me would kind of be like the breakup of the friendship or of the social group. And like the Queen of Swords maybe took it a little bit too personally. Also, you know, reverse the roles however way you need to here. But it feels like this queen kind of took it a little bit personally, and it's almost like they're out for blood, which kind of scares me. No, it's not like that. It's even. It's not Monster Readings either. But there's that. I also feel that some of you could just be like paranoid that this person is doing it, is paranoid that this person might do something, right? Because the Nine of Swords would also just be like the paranoia, like the overthinking, the like I said, the anxiety. Maybe because there is a sense of guilt that you feel because maybe you actually did something wrong. You did this person wrong, or you talked to them sideways, or whatever the case might be. And so maybe there's a sense of paranoia because you know what this person is capable of, or maybe they know some sort of information that you have revealed to them that no one else knows. Whatever the case may be, I just feel like a lot of this is just like paranoia. I don't necessarily think that this is actually going to come into fruition, although it very well could, but I don't necessarily think so, because the Nine of Swords is just like the overthinking, the stress. Like, I feel that the more you focus on the negative energy, I feel that the more you focus on like the potential of this person doing it, there's more of a likelihood doing it. If you put all of your energy into that and you were literally visualizing that and like living in that reality, then I feel that there's a stronger possibility of that coming true. But I feel that if you kind of deal with your emotions and with your thoughts properly and manage them well, and don't get so caught up in like these hypothetical situations, I feel that you'll be able to overcome it and that you'll be fine. I also wonder if some of you guys are like paranoid because you said something about this Queen of Swords to a group of friends, like you were being a little bit faked about this person, or you were just like saying something a little bit backhanded, whatever the case might be, and you're scared that it'll get back to them. Interesting. Like I said, roles could be reversed where someone did this to you. It could also be that maybe some of you feel hurt by a social group or a friend group in your life. Maybe some of you are this Queen of Swords, right? Maybe some of you feel scorned by a group of friends, by a group of people that you thought were cool, or by even like just a group of friends that you weren't all that close with, that you feel kind of ganged up on you in some sort of way. And so now you're stressing over the situation. Maybe you feel kind of excluded or blacklisted for whatever reason that might be. And it kind of feels like this friend group or this situation, this gossip, this sort of rumor that's kind of either being spread about, that is potentially being spread about you, I feel like that's kind of turning you cold with this Queen of Swords reversed. It's almost like this was kind of like the last tipping point. This was like the last straw. And it almost just feels like you're turning completely cold and you are no longer allowing anyone in. There could be like a lot of trust issues with this sort of situation. And like, it doesn't seem like the conflict is just being all that resolved, because I have the Five of Wands reverse and then the Chariot reverse, which is like a lack of progress. So it seems that maybe this is a conflict that you've been dealing with for a while and have been avoiding and solving because you've just been overthinking it. Maybe this is something something from the past that has kind of resurfaced and you don't really know how to deal with it. Because now there's just like all these rumors and gossip that's just like going around. And we also have the Seven of Pentacles, which would be like the consistency or the growth of something. I want to clarify the Seven of Pentacles. What does this mean? How does this play a role into whatever is going on for air signs? Can we clarify this wait, hold on. Okay. Can we clarify this? Bitch. Can we clarify the Seven of Pentacles for the fire signs? Can we clarify on the Seven of Pentacles for the fire signs? All right, bottom of the deck is the Page of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles. Okay, so this would be like stubbornness, being really stingy, placing too much value on something, and like a false sense of security. What is this? Page of Pentacles. Is this something to do with money? Page of Pentacles, the Sun, Nine of Wands reversed. That would be defensiveness. What is this? Is this like holding a grudge? Is this something that has been like, oh, okay. So I feel that with the Four of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles here, this talks about like how this is something that has been consistently like growing, like building up, and it's kind of like eventually starting to peak. I also feel like this is a grudge that has been growing over time. Because the Four of Pentacles would be the grudge. Seven of Pentacles would be like the overtime thing. Like it's just been slowly building up. It seems like something is kind of going to something is going to reach some sort of peak or like climax or like epiphany of sorts, or just like some sort of like explosion. I don't want to say like explosion like that, but I feel like something is kind of going to reach a peak of some sort, whatever that might be for you. And I feel like this is something that has been building up for a while. Maybe, you know, like that paranoia has been building up, the gossip, the rumors, the spreading of misinformation, like whatever situation this is, maybe like this person has been talking badly about you, whatever this is. It has been building up for a long time. Like the tension is building, the friction has been building, and maybe that's why you have been feeling so stressed and so paranoid, because it's almost like you can feel everything that's going on and you're just like overthinking everything. Well, for good reason, because if you feel that something has just been building up and building up and building up and wondering like when everything is kind of going to explode, it kind of just feels like this week or soon eventually. Things are kind of going to reach their peak where everything is kind of just going to be laid out on the table. Who is this Queen of Swords reversed? Could be someone younger than you, this Queen of Swords. Bottom of the deck, Four of Swords reversed. Yeah, this clarifies the Queen of Swords. This could be someone who's younger than you, maybe like a younger sibling or something, or I don't know. It could be someone younger than you with this Fool card, or it could just be like someone who's just really immature, really childish. This just feels like petty drama, especially with that Three of Cups reversed. It just feels like really petty high school drama, and it's just really not worth it. So what advice can we give the fire? Can you not? What advice can we give to the fire signs this week based off of this energy? I feel like everything is going to end up in your favor at the end of the day. We have the Nine of Swords reversed, which tells me do not rush into first of all, do not rush into anything blindly without knowing what you're getting yourself into, without having all of the information that you need to know. Don't what's that word? What's that phrase? Just like, don't jump at the opportunity too quickly. Like, don't pull the trigger too quickly. Like, give it a second, gain all the information that you need to know, learn all the information that you need to know. Don't just like go off based off of like half-assed information or like partial information, partial truth. Get all the info that you need. Find out as much as you can before making any sort of decision, before making any sort of move or like call out or whatever it is. Like, you need to have all of your facts straight, okay? So that's one piece of advice. And I feel that if you remain emotionally clear, very objective, and you're not rushing into anything blindly, I feel like things will end up going in your favor. Like, you'll be fine with this Wheel of Fortune. And I feel that, yeah, like we have the Ace of Cups, which talks about like a new beginning. I feel like you'll be fine. As long as you don't rush into this Knight of Swords energy reversed. I think you'll be fine. Yeah, you'll be fine. The only piece of advice I would give you is just to not rush into anything blindly. Don't do anything out of paranoia. Do something because you're well informed, okay? So that is what I have for you, fire signs. Hope it resonates. Let me know if it does. I would love to hear any sort of feedback that you have for me. Let's see, what else do I have to say? Give the video a thumbs up. Share with your friends, family, loved ones, or anyone who needs to hear this advice. And what else can I say? Subscribe, hit the bell notification to know when I upload my videos. If you want to find me on social media, you can do so on Twitter and Instagram at Sinfulpluto. And if you want to book a personal reading with me, you can do so at sinfulpluto.com. The link will be down below. With that being said, I'll talk to you later. Good luck. Bye. Hey Earth signs, how are you? Hope that you are doing well. Let's just go ahead and get started with your weekly reading. So what's in store for the Earth signs between December 2nd through the 5th? What's in store for the Earth signs between December 2nd through the 5th? Okay, we got 3 cards, I'll find out. Bottom of the deck. Okay, we have the 2 of Cups reversed. We have the Knight of Wands reversed. The 8 of Pentacles and the 8 of Cups. Okay, we have 2 8s, and the number 8 could be significant to you in some way. Bottom of the deck is the 9 of Swords reversed, and under that is the 6 of Pentacles. Okay, so for some of you, I feel like some of you kind of are wanting to slow down in your relationship, or you need to slow down in some relationship that you're in. With the 2 of Cups reversed and the Knight of Wands reversed. I would also see this as there could be some sort of sense of like disharmony in a relationship that you're in, whether it's platonic or romantic or familial, whatever relationship that you're in, or that you're involved with. There's some sort of disharmony there, and it might be because someone is acting a little bit arrogant or has said or is kind of saying things impulsively or doing things impulsively, kind of just like really impulsive behavior. I also wonder if someone is questioning, if someone is questioning like their independence in a relationship, like questioning their freedom in a relationship. Maybe they feel stifled in some sort of way, or maybe you feel stifled in that relationship, Earth signs. But it just feels like there's a kind of, it kind of just like feels stagnant almost. 2 of Cups reversed and the Knight of Wands reversed. The Knight of Wands reversed would be someone who's questioning their independence or like wanting to be free, but something is like holding them back. So I wonder if either you or someone else is just like really wanting more freedom, but for some reason they can't seem to find that, or maybe they feel that the relationship is just like imposing on their freedom, on their sense of self, or like wanting to explore and do new things and like be on their own. And I feel like a lot of this has to like, it stems from the fact that this person just wants to work with this Eight of Pentacles here. This person is kind of really focused on their career, focused on building themselves up, really focused on just working hard and making that money. And I feel like that's why they kind of don't even really want to be focusing on someone else, catering to another person. And it's not necessarily because they don't care about the person, but it just feels like they're in a time right now, kind of like in a transition stage where this person, whether it's you or another individual, this person just like wants to focus on their work. They want to focus on being better, on building themselves up, on focusing on all of the details, perfecting their craft, right? Really perfecting their craft and paying attention to all of those details. And I feel that the relationship might be imposing on that. And I think that this person, like, he wants to walk away. He wants to move forward. This person wants to be free. That's kind of just like what it feels like this week. Earth signs, whether it's you or another person, maybe you want to walk away from this because you feel like your freedom is, you know, being imposed upon, but maybe it's this other person who feels this way, in which case have a discussion with them and, you know, ask them like, hey, how do you feel in this relationship? Like, are you happy? Do you want to continue being together? Like, what can I do to help you feel more free, or whatever it is? Like, kind of just like talk it out and have that open-hearted discussion, even if it might be a little bit vulnerable and awkward, or not all that pleasant, in the sense that, you know, no one likes to hear that someone else is not entirely satisfied in a relationship. So that could be it. I really feel that independence and freedom is something that this Knight of Wands wants. That's all they really want. They want to be free. They want to explore and do their own thing, I think. And it's not that the relationship is a bad relationship. It doesn't have to be a bad relationship. It could even be like a very healthy and happy relationship. But it just feels like this person needs more than just that right now. And I feel that the relationship kind of takes away time from focusing on the work, on the studying, on the building of the career, building of the business, building of the whatever it is. And the Eight of Cups just talks about how you want to walk away, you want to move forward, you want to transition, you want to do something differently. And there might be a little bit of like overthinking here, right? There's Nine of Swords reversed, so maybe a little bit of like anxiety, paranoia, not really knowing what to do, really kind of like letting your thoughts get the best of you. But I would say that it's just not worth it. And I would say that it's important to kind of like have faith in the fact that the universe will provide the answers that you need, and everything will work out the way that it needs to in the end. You just have to like continue trusting. There doesn't have to be this big weight on your shoulders if this is something that you have been going through and like wanting to discuss with your partner or with your friend or with your coworker or whoever or whatever. I understand. I think everything will work out at the end. Let's pull some advice cards for you. Let's pull some advice cards for you, Earth signs. What advice can we give to the Earth signs this week based off the energy that is presented in front of us right now? Bottom of the deck is the Lovers reversed. Okay. Oh, God. Okay. So we have the Two of Wands that first came out and it flipped over. Two of Wands definitely talks about how you, Earth signs, or this person needs to no longer restrict themselves. The world is in their hands and they can definitely mold it into what they want it to be, but they need to be able to focus on that. There's definitely a need for exploration. And I feel that with the Two of Wands, it kind of talks about how this person, whether it's you or this other person, earth signs, it feels like this person is almost, it's like they feel tied down and they see everyone else living out their dreams, and they want to be able to do that, but they're tied down and so they can't. But it's almost like they're tying themselves down, and that's why there's that freedom, there's this sense of restlessness in terms of that. And so this person just like needs to free themselves, and this doesn't necessarily mean like break off the friendship, but it just feels like this person needs space. This person needs time for themselves. And with the Page of Wands, this talks about just like having to talk that out, having to have that discussion, that communication, having to just bring it up to the table and talk it out. And the Fool reverse talks about how the longer you ponder this idea, the more, how do I say this? The more you look down, let's say we're looking down from a diving board, right? And you're like, I don't know, 10 feet up, right? And it's really high from the water. Like where you're at, the diving board is really far away from the water that's under you. And you're looking down at the pool and you start psyching yourself out. Because it's so far away, and you're like, oh my God, I can't do this. You start overthinking and you start kind of walking away from the edge of the diving board because you get scared and you get anxious. And the longer that you let your thoughts take control of you and keep you, as long as you let your fear get the best of you and control you and make decisions for you, you stop yourself from taking many risks that are probably really necessary and helpful, and that would really elevate you in your progress. So the Fool reverse tells me that you need to, like, don't stop once you start building up the momentum. I understand that it gets scary and at the last minute you start overthinking, but you kind of have to take that leap of faith. Rather than building up all of that momentum and then at the last minute just not doing anything. So at the bottom of the deck we have the what's this called? The Lovers reversed. This tells me that, you know, there's a very clear right and wrong answer, and there is that temptation, right? You're tempted to make the easy choice because it's instantly gratifying. But the right choice is a lot more gratifying in the long term. And that's what matters, is playing the long game rather than the short one. So, Earth signs, I hope it resonates. Let me know if it does. I hope the advice helps a little bit. And let me know. Give the video a big thumbs up. Share with your friends, family, loved ones, or anyone else who needs to hear this. And if you want to book a personal reading with me, you can do so at Sinfulpluto.com. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification if you want to know when I upload my videos. If you want to find me on social media, you can do so on Twitter and Instagram at Sinfulpluto. And with that being said, I'll talk to you later, darlings. Bye.